Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Red Cartel podcast. My name is Leon McDevitt, and this is my good friend Will Johnson, the boss man, the Gooner. And we're here to talk about predominantly the Arsenal game on the weekend. It's a tender subject. You can already see that Boss is looking a little bit upset, and I don't blame him. So, first and foremost, we'll go in with what are your thoughts and feelings on the Arsenal game, Boss?
I don't know. Well, I've had a few days. I've had a few days to calm down, and I'm struggling to calm down. But I mean, let's. What I'll do is I'll talk about. It's 1-1. There's a point against Brighton. If you offered me 7 points at the beginning of the season when we had to go to Villa away and have Brighton a good side at home, I'll probably. It would have been the kind of the bare minimum that we wanted. But the game. I want to talk about the game, but really, the only thing I want to talk about is how annoyed I am that a Premier League referee has no ability in his job and ruined a spectacle for 60-odd thousand Arsenal fans that came along to enjoy the day. But what can I say about the game? Right, 1-1. Arsenal in the first half played very, very well. Thought we really nullified Brighton as an attacking force. They very much tried to play like Villa did, like compress everything, not allow us to go through the middle. So when you do that with Arsenal, we were playing it out to Saka a lot. Saka had a couple of good chances to make it 1-0. Odegaard had a good chance as well, and then we had Kai Havertz scores again. As his song goes. So good goal. I thought, great bit of play by Saka. I don't know what Lewis Dunk was doing. Like, he shouldn't really be losing a battle with Saka, but managed to win that battle. Played a nice ball into Kai. Kai had a lovely finish. Like, when I saw that finish, I was thinking, Kai, he's starting to feel like a striker. He's starting to get into those positions. He's starting to put them away. I think last season that's going past the post. I don't think that's going in, or he's hitting it straight at the goalkeeper, or he's trying to do something silly where he just doesn't quite get it. But at 1-0, we're very, very much on top, dominating the game. Brighton really aren't doing much. And then we get going half time. Very, very happy with the performance. If you're looking at it critically, Arsenal probably should have been going in, probably by more, probably at least two up at that point. I think we got affected with Brighton. I can't remember which Brighton player did it, but a really bad tackle on Odegaard. Really quite near his knee, studs into his shin pad. Odegaard never really recovered from that. He ended up going off injured. I will just say it wasn't a yellow card, no yellow card shown by the ref for a tackle like that. And then go into half time and really happy, and that was the end of the game. So any other questions, boss? So that was it, was it?
Yeah, I've got loads of questions. Mostly, I'm going to say then pertaining to Paul Kavanagh.
Yeah. Paul Kavanagh's a dick. He's the brother. Chris Kavanagh, he's a bit even more of a dick.
Paul Kavanagh was my boss 20 years ago.
Oh, there you go. He's a dick as well.
So Chris Kavanagh.
But no, in all seriousness, obviously, the big turning point, second half, 49 minutes in, balls in Brighton's corner, has a little Declan Rice and Veltman had a bit of a tussle. Obviously, Rice has already been booked in the first half for a bit of a late tackle on Veltman anyway. And yeah, Veltman goes down, wins the free kick. Rice starts to walk away. Veltman tosses the ball into Rice's path. Rice sees the ball, does a whatever you may think, does a little flick, touches the ball away, walking away, sees a ball into his path, touches the ball away. Veltman comes in, whacks Rice, and the only logical thing you could ever see if you're a referee seeing that statement, that little period of play, is to book Rice and send him off. One of the most ridiculous decisions by a referee, and that is a really, like VAR, that is a very high bar. Very unbelievable decision to send him off. Really changed the game. Brighton then for the next 20 minutes were very much on top. They get their equaliser by playing a ball straight through the middle of the park. Unfortunately, there used to be a big wall called Declan Rice that would have stopped that ball being played, but he was off the pitch. And Brighton go and equalise. They start dominating. And then we start to get a couple of attacks. And again, we should have won the game. Like at 1-1, we had two really big chances. Kai with the first chance, great bit of play. Playing shithousery, Kai should have gone down. Got that player sent off. As soon as that player touched him once, he should have gone down. But he wanted to score. He wasn't a cheat, like some of the Brighton players. And then obviously you have the Saka one. But the big incident, I think, what we want to talk about and what I want to talk about is the Declan Rice sending off. I just cannot get my head around the referee's thought pattern on sending a player off for such a minute touch. And it annoys me. I'm still annoyed. I'm still annoyed by it. But especially, and all I've heard from pundits, from former referees since that, it was like he had no choice. He had no choice. The letter of the law is one of the most annoying phrases I think I've ever heard, because I keep hearing letter of the law. He should have been sent off. And okay, if you're following the letter of the law, then okay, book him. But also book João Pedro in the first half for booting the ball away. I think we were talking earlier on the Liverpool review podcast, and you said a couple of Man United players did kick the ball away after the free kick had been awarded, no yellow card. But by the letter of law, I really hope Howard Webb pulls up that ref. Who was on it? Was it Michael Oliver?
No, we didn't have Michael Oliver. I can't remember who we had as the referee.
Oh, the bald guy, Anthony Taylor.
Anthony Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, I really, really hope that he gets disciplined and misses a game because he did not go and give that yellow card to the Man United players. But yeah, so I've heard that by the letter of the law now about 3,000 times. I've said it about 20 times already. So just really disappointing that a referee that is meant to be one of the top referees in all of the land could make such a decision that's going to affect a team and an outcome so heavily for such a kind of matter-of-fact offence. I think I've said this many times. If you start saying letter of the law, and that's the bar that you have to give someone a yellow card, like the letter of the law, if you do this, you will automatically get a yellow card. I think if you start refereeing games like that, we're going to have match abandonments from teams not having enough people on the pitch, and we're going to have penalties constantly. We're going to have goalkeepers being sent off for holding the ball for longer than 6 seconds. Lots of indirect free kicks within penalty areas. So lots of things happen in a game that, by the letter of the law, they should be penalised, but they're not, because referees use common sense and go, it's a game, and it's played high intensity, and my job is to make sure it's a fair game, and and that's when I come off the pitch and it's been a fair game, and the team that's won or the team's drew because of their abilities on the pitch. I'm here to ref it. I'm not here to play it. But Chris Kavanagh, just I don't know what he did. I don't know why he did it. Like, and it's annoying me because I'm not. I get the. I get the tinfoil hat on now. I do, and I get those Arsenal glasses on, and it just stop giving me excuses to get that tin hat on, because we got the letter of the law now. But last season, when Arsenal played Man City, and Kovacic, does a yellow card tackle, should have been a red first, but it gets checked by VAR. They said no because they were like, yes, it is a red card. Wait a minute, he's wearing a Man City shirt. It's a yellow. We can't get involved. But 5 minutes later, he does a really bad tackle from behind, and I think Michael Oliver instantly says, no, I'm not yellow carding him for that. And Howard Webb goes out and defends him to say he didn't want to have a negative impact on the game by sending.
He's managing the game.
Yeah. So you can't have it both ways when you try and defend a referee by saying, on one hand, I'm defending my referee because he didn't want a negative impact on the game, so he wanted to take his time. He felt like it should have been a yellow card, but he didn't want to send the player off because it happened so quickly after the first yellow card. And then come out, and I was watching the propaganda show on Sky Sports, the Ref Watch. Like, they wheel out Dermot Gallagher out of his coffin, bring him out for him to say.
They bring Turncoat in as well, don't they? The man who turncoat every club, Michael Owen's there, isn't he?
No, that's the other one. I daren't watch that. That's with Howard Webb. This one's on Sky Sports on a Monday, and they bring him out, get him out of his coffin, and he's like, he had to send him off. There was, if he had no choice, but they're humans. They have choices, and his choice was to send off Declan Rice. And if you're looking at it from that conspiracy angle, this only, in my eyes, these sorts of decisions, not bad sendings off where, like someone's gone in for a tackle and shouldn't be a red, or they shouldn't have been booked before and now they're running the risk. But this was just such a period of play where he didn't stop the ball being played. There was no ball to be played. The ball was moving. Went into his path. There was so many mitigating factors of why that shouldn't have been another yellow card.
Absolutely.
But he chose to do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there was no, like I said to you before, and because we recorded this before and it went a bit wrong and all that, Mika Richards has come out and robbed me point, but there was no one running in behind, because if it was a quick free kick, and I would say, fair enough, he deserves to have a yellow card because he was going to play it in the João Pedro, and he was in on goal. Arsenal was sleeping. Everyone else was sleeping except for them. And I shouldn't be as irate as I am, I suppose, but I'm probably the same as you. It was the most ridiculous red card I've ever seen. No need for it. Not anymore.
Look, you can say whatever you like. Okay, yeah, he shouldn't. You can't kick the ball away, but you see it happen 10 times a game, and it never gets penalised. And look, it's that whole Martinelli thing again. Like, Martinelli a few seasons ago got a double yellow card for the same period of play, and he committed 2 yellow card offences apparently. That never ever got done. No one's ever had that done to them ever again.
No.
I don't think anyone will ever get sent off. Won't get sent off this season for such a minuscule stopping the ball. It may be they get sent off if they go and grab the ball. And in fact, think of how many times a goal gets scored, and the keeper holds onto the ball.
Yep.
Are you delaying the start of the restart? Do they get booked? It never happens. It's an unbelievable outlier of the game, and it ruined the game. Arsenal were there. I think, even objectively, you'd say if 11 against 11, Arsenal winning by a couple of goals easily. The way that we were dominating that game, and maybe not dominating, but the way that we were restricting Brighton's play in that game.
100% you'd have beat them 1 or 2-0. They had basically up to the point where the sending off was. I'm not saying they had no chance, because you never know in football, but they had as much of a no chance as you possibly can without the corner comes in, Lewis Dunk scores a header, and you're like, oh, for God. Apart from that, there was like nothing. They had nothing really going forward. Like they weren't playing as well as probably because you were controlling the game, at least from my opinion.
Yeah. But it was what I'm going to find really interesting now is, and I don't want this to happen, but because it will ruin the games. But I find it if there's ever periods in a game outside of the Arsenal game where someone touches the ball after the ref's given a free kick against them and they don't instantly get booked,
yeah,
then Dermot Gallagher, then Howard Webb, they need to then come out and tell us why that particular incident didn't receive an instant yellow card. And they're going to have to do that 5 to 10 times every weekend.
More than that, because it happened, like I said to you, on the Liverpool-Man United game, it happened like 2 times, twice, over the same free kick. So Rashford kicked the ball away twice. Well, actually, he kicked the ball away once, then he picked it up and threw it back to Trent. And Trent kept putting it back where it was and trying to move it, like Veltman was doing, a bit more forward. Do you know what Trent didn't do? He didn't immediately run up and boot Rashford.
Yeah.
And that's where he went wrong. If he'd have just booted Rashford, Rashford would have got a red card. Obviously, because, and I just want to point this out, something else that you didn't mention that has annoyed me the most about the incident. What if letter of the law says if you delay the restart, you get a yellow card? Doesn't the letter of the law say if you whack somebody above the waist, you get sent off?
Oh yeah, that's another story. Like how that's not dangerous play, because regardless of whether if Rice does not touch the ball, then Veltman boots the ball into nothingness and follow throughs and smacks Rice in the knee, and the hip. So it's dangerous play.
Yeah.
And in fact, regardless of whether Rice commits an offence, if someone, when the ball is not in play, goes and boots a player, regardless of whether it's in play, whether they've been fouled, whatever, they get sent off. Like it's simple as that.
People have been booked for booting the ball at people. So just so we're putting, and if you boot the ball at the subs bench really hard from a free kick, you'll probably get booked, even though there's nothing in the laws that set apart from the spirit of the game. Like, so what I mean is, if Veltman had that free kick and went, I'm going to ping this at Arteta's face, and he did it, he might get booked for it because they'd be like, you clearly weren't trying. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just it almost. I just don't see a world. I don't want any of those players. I don't want Veltman to be sent off, although I definitely want him to be sent off more than Rice. I want the ref to be able to apply common sense and say, boys, what are you doing? Stop. I said to you before, I flip-flopped on this. Declan Rice made an automatic no decision. Footballer on a pitch, ball comes near him. He towed it away about that far, right? Veltman misses the ball and wanted to clatter Declan Rice. All right, if anything, book Veltman, say, what are you doing? Calm down. Declan Rice, go, get up. That didn't hurt you that much, mate. Come on, what are you doing? And also, I'll save you from that little tiny indiscreet. There's nothing. Come here. Don't do that again. See you later. That's it. That's all you do. He didn't bother.
You see it every week. You see a referee deciding not to follow the letter of the law for the good of the game, bringing over a couple of players that are pushing each other and saying, don't do that, boys. The amount of times you'll see like a bad tackle go in that's not a yellow, and then a player get up and like square up to them or give them a little push or a nudge. But we live in a world now, apparently, where that is a sending off, but clotheslining a goalkeeper is not a sending off.
Yeah.
Choke slamming a player on the floor is not a sending off.
Mm-hmm. Sexually
assaulting a player by putting your hand on their arse, that is not reprimanded. So all of these things that in everyday life would be reprimanded, probably criminally reprimanded, but on the football pitch, all you need to do is just touch a ball and that's it. And then you're in. And what makes it worse is that he now misses the Tottenham match, which is just the craziness. But my final thoughts on this game were Arsenal played amazingly well, managed to nullify a really, really top attacking team and were comfortable until the sending off. Brighton did very well in taking advantage of that extra man. In fact, I think Arteta was going to try and put Calafiore on the pitch at the time that Brighton scored. So did very well. Had a couple of other chances. Arsenal could have and should have won it. Like regardless of the sending off, they should have won that game. They had two very good chances, and at that point, we go 2-1 up. We can just have a bank of four, and then we have Martinelli or Havertz or whoever it might be to just run and chase the ball when we boot it forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ref made a choice in my mind. I think that's the whole point of refs. And my final point is if a referee has to follow the rule of the law, they have to follow the letter of the law. They have no human emotion or they have no human thought pattern. Why do we have humans refereeing the game? We should simply have an AI system that monitors every player's action on the pitch. And if the player commits any infraction according to the letter of the law, the game should be stopped and that player should be booked or that there should be a free kick. Like I was saying, goalkeepers holding it for longer than 6 seconds. It is written in the law that if a goalkeeper holds the ball for longer than 6 seconds, an indirect free kick must be awarded. Yeah. You will see that 5 or 6 times. I mean, Raya's terrible at it. I always worry that he's always going to get booked for time wasting because he goes down for like 30 seconds holding the ball. But you'll also see players every single corner or free kick around the box holding shirts. Now, I'm pretty sure a shirt holding of a shirt for a prolonged period of time is a free kick. Or in the box, it is a penalty. It does not get done because they're not refereeing the rule book, they're refereeing the game. Yeah. And it was a complete choice by Kavanagh. I truly hope he never, ever referees another Arsenal game. But unfortunately, like with every single season in the last 3 seasons, Arsenal have had decisions that are so left field from normal decisions that have taken place, and it really, really damages our abilities to win the league, which is what we're essentially going for. So yeah, very, very annoyed. Even more annoying that it's now the international break and I can't just look forward to a Wednesday night game or a Saturday game next week to kind of get over that. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
Thank you very much for all your thoughts on that, boss. With regards to the game and the red card myself, I don't want to interject too much. It's more of an Arsenal thing, but as I have interjected, and I do think that it is one of the most ridiculous decisions that I have ever seen. I don't want my game of football to have a rule or law or anything in it that says that is a sending off. In fact, like I said earlier, Veltman should have been reprimanded harder than Declan Rice. I could see how Declan Rice would not get a second yellow. Veltman would get a yellow, calm everything down, free kick to Arsenal. But he didn't. And I do have some questions, though, around Arsenal.
Yeah, well, before you jump onto the questions there, just one final point I want to make is like, if any rival fans like think, oh, it's so funny that like Arsenal got a player sent off, and just think that sort of decision could go against your club, and what would you think? Like that's because that's always the test, right? Say like you have a penalty that's given against you, you always think, would I want that penalty in the opposition's box, or like an incident goes against you, you think like, would I be happy for that to go against another team? Like, I would not be happy to win a game by playing against 10 men because the player did that, especially when my player went in and smashed the thing. I'd find it ludicrous, but that's the end. Sorry for interjecting.
No, you're right. I feel like after that, I should mention two things then, actually. One is for everybody who laughed and thought it was funny and ridiculous that Liverpool offside goal against Tottenham, and Klopp said, well, we should replay the game then. Everyone went, ha, 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 you're stupid. You can't be replaying games. All the pundits, all the everything. It's your fault that this happened. And this will continue to happen because it's your fault. Whoever laughed at that has caused this. Because really, this should be looked at and been like, that was the wrong decision. That game has to be replayed. Everyone will think I'm ridiculous for saying that, but it's true.
Good catch. Yeah, I mean, I would never say it should be. I don't think you have to move on now, but it's just like. But you're right. Until rival fans and rival pundits come together and say this is just unacceptable, like it will always go, because the referees and Howard Webb will have their fan clubs, they will have their backers, that will say, oh no, it's the right decision because it wasn't against my club, so it's the right decision.
Exactly.
I'm guilty for it too, but you've got to stand up and say this is ridiculous, and the refereeing situation needs to improve.
Absolutely. There's a difference between me celebrating that Arsenal drew for whatever reason and me thinking that was a fair game. Because I'm very pleased you drop points, but also at the same time, that's not how I want you to have dropped points. Because if I think, ha 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 ha, Arsenal, and then we play Arsenal, and then Mo Salah knocks the ball away and one of your players does the exact same thing and one of our players gets sent off, it will be like vindication in a way. Arsenal fans would love it at that moment, of course, and be excited. I get it. And then afterwards look at it and be like, this isn't how we wanted to win the title, or like how we want to beat our rivals in the title race.
Yeah.
Like, you would take it, obviously, because we want to win. That's what it is. But yeah, sorry, we digress anyway. That's put to bed for now.
One final thing is, as you well know, Leon, Danny Welbeck was one of my favourite ever Arsenal players. And Danny, not that you care, but you've gone down a couple of runs in my view of you, mate. So that's all.
Not surprised. So, questions I have for you. I've got sort of 4 or 5, varying in length and difficulty to answer. First one is the most obvious one, Trossard with the Al Etihad, if that's how you say the name, Al Etihad, £35 million bid. What do you reckon about that? Do you reckon there's any chance of him going?
Yeah, crazy. I mean, I don't think there's any chance of him going. We don't really have enough strike force as it is. We don't have. You look at the bench now, and it's quite bare with Jesus injured, Moreno injured, losing some players in the transfer window. So hopefully he won't go. But I think if it happened 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think Trossard would have left. But yeah, it's too late on now. I'm hoping Arsenal will reject the offer outright.
Doesn't make logical sense, does it, in this little bit of the window to accept, unless you've got loads and loads and loads of players and you just, like Chelsea, you just surplusly sell people, fine. But like Liverpool and Arsenal, even Man City to an extent, although all of their players cost ridiculous money, they don't have like a 40-man squad, nor do we, because it was impossible. It's like silly. That's why Chelsea is such a basket case. So I've been reading. I mean, when we talked about this originally, I kind of think it might be this, but everybody's been saying that's it, title's over, Arsenal are done now. You're out of it. 3 games in, done.
Yeah, it's crazy the aura Man City have and is portrayed upon the football fans by pundits and things like that. It's 3 games, 2 points behind. By the best will of the world, I think even the most hardened Man City fan will accept that they will drop points during the season.
Yeah.
And we still have to play them twice. We still have to play Liverpool twice.
Yep.
It's not ideal. You want to win every single game, but no, the game is not the league is not going. Okay.
And no, I kind of agree with you. I mean, I say it farcically almost, but I used to say it tongue in cheek when Liverpool were going for the title all the time. As soon as we lost a game in the first 10 games, we were like, all right, well, that's it then, because City are basically
Yeah.
juggernaut it.
I also think, Leon, like we've talked about this before, but the City court case, it has one. They have to be found guilty for something. Like, you don't have 115 chances brought against you without the person bringing it against you being pretty confident that they're going to be able to win the majority of those cases. So they will get massive points deduction, and hopefully they will get relegated. And even if they don't, and they miraculously win, I think the noise around that, the fact that Pep's eye is going to be taken off the ball, I don't think Man City will have a flawless first half of the season anyway. I think they'll drop a lot of points. I think Liverpool probably would be more of a threat to Arsenal winning the league this season than Man City.
Interesting.
Not that Arsenal are favourites to win the league, but I'm saying, like, if we were gonna in the title race, I would be like, say, like, Man City dropped points and Liverpool went unbeaten for 10 games and Arsenal were 5 or 6 points behind Liverpool at that point, then I'd be more worried than being a few points behind Man City at this stage.
Yeah, I sort of at least half firmly agree. There's always this part, and then maybe it's PTSD from going up against like Man City so much, and also I feel like it's just worth shouting out. So just in case Man City fans aren't listening to this, but if you are, like, how do you feel about all your titles then having asterisks over them? Because that was the thing. That was the funny thing for Liverpool. You're gonna have an asterisk over the title. What about when it's asterisk? Go and follow it. You're a cheater. What about that? What about not a global pandemic that put the whole world messed up? You just cheated. What then? How are you going to feel?
I've started something now, haven't I? I've
How
started Leon's rant.
How are you going to feel? No, we have not started a rant. Second, the third question, sorry, that I actually have for you, and this is more pertinent. Next 2 games, I think they're both away. Away at Spurs, away at City, after the international break for you, without Declan Rice for one of them at least. I mean, what do you think about them? And, like, if you lose them?
That is challenging. I mean, it's always challenging going to Spurs. I don't really think they're very good this season. But it's Spurs at their ground, so it's always going to be challenging. And we've got Atalanta in the middle of that as well, away. So we've got 3 very, very difficult away games, one after the other. So, and I until I kind of realised that, it didn't. When I first started when I first saw the fixtures, I thought, Arsenal haven't got that hard a start, but to have Aston Villa away, Brighton at home, Spurs away, Man City away, with Atalanta in the middle of there, away from home, that's very challenging. Look, if we drop points, I think if we drop points as in we beat Spurs and draw against Man City, not so bad. I think if we beat Spurs and lose against Man City, or we draw against Spurs and lose against Man City, then I accept the pundits talking about Arsenal being out of the league title race, because I don't think it's true, but it's a definite talking point at that point. At this point, dropping 2 points in the first 3 games, I think it's a non-starter in my eyes. But the next 2 games are very hard, and they'll probably be going to shape the outlook of our season for at least the next couple of months. How we perform in those games.
And I've always been somebody who doesn't really buy into the fixtures type thing. I know we spoke about it and we were laughing about how sort of easy, or at least on paper, Liverpool's first is. Man City's end and beginning are very easy. I don't buy into it necessarily because everyone's got to play everybody, all that sort of stuff. But what I do buy into is seeing where you are after the first 10 games. That has it's very pertinent to who is going to perform very well. It doesn't always indicate 100%, but if you were to get through these fixtures and then what is that? That'd be 5 games, and then the next 5, and say you ended up with a points total of 24 points, 25 points. All of a sudden, that Brighton drop points don't look so bad, and all of a sudden you've got 24, 25 points after 10 games, and you're joint top / second. I just don't think that is more important. And in a strange way, if you can get to that sort of points total after the first 10 games, having the run you've had and that you are going to play, I think you'll be in a great position, actually.
Yeah, I agree. Leo. I mean, look, just to give you an understanding of our first 10 games include they've already included Aston Villa away, Brighton, Tottenham away, Man City away, Liverpool at home, and Newcastle away. So that Newcastle away is our 10th game. So some of the hardest games you're going to play all season. And I always think winning breeds winning, right? If you start to get on like the snowball effect of like, I've won, you win 5, 6, 7, 8 games in a row, the confidence that the team has going into the next game is unbelievable. If you're a stop-start for the first 10 games, like you win a couple, you lose, you draw, you win a few more, and then you lose, like it's much harder to keep that consistency. But let's see. I think I definitely will know a lot more about Arsenal's ability to win the title this season after the first 10 games. That after the result against Newcastle away, I think where we sit there, if we sit within a few points of whoever's at the top of the table, I think we have a very, very good chance of winning the league. If we are 5 or 6 points behind either you or Man City at the top of the table, I think that will be challenging. I think that will be very challenging, and we'll really be having to rely on us beating you. Although we have to go away to you on the 9th game of our season. I think it's away.
Is it away? I thought it was at Highbury or the Emirates.
Oh no, it's at the Emirates, so that makes it a bit better, because I always think with us, Liverpool, Arsenal, the team at home, the advantage of that team is massive. Like, Liverpool don't normally beat Arsenal in the league at home. Even when we were poor, we'd get a draw against you, and then you'd smash us at Anfield. And vice versa. And we haven't beaten you at Anfield, I think, since Aaron Ramsey scored.
Michael Thomas
about 10 years ago.
League or whatever it was. Was that at Anfield or was it at your ground? I can't even remember. Since 1990.
Oh yeah, well no, we've beaten you since then at Anfield, but yeah. Cool. No, I think it's too premature to say that we're out of the title race, but I think the next 3 games is going to shape a lot of our season, and then also where we'll be at the end of the Newcastle game, I think will be really important.
I think, I agree with you. I think that's more reasonable than title's over and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was going to ask you to sort of round up the transfer window, but before I do that, it's a transfer itself. What do you reckon about Sterling? I mean, he's got connection to both of us, and what do you think about that?
Yeah, I said on the pods last week or the week before, I kind of predicted that Arsenal could sign him on loan. I said it would be a great signing if we got him, and I stand by that. I think, especially seeing at the terms of the deal as well, where Sterling's taken a pay cut, and we're only paying 50% of his wages, and there's no loan fee. So for me, it's an amazing deal. He's going to bring so much to our team. He's going to bring so much experience in winning titles in that title running. He's going to be able to provide cover for Saka. He's going to be able to provide cover for Trossard and Martinelli. He's going to be able to provide cover for Havertz up front, and he's also going to be able to play some games. There's a lot of games, especially with this new Champions League format. There's going to be a lot of games that we're going to have to rely on someone like a Sterling. So I'm really pleased, really happy. I kind of thought it would happen, just from Arteta, the kind of the Arteta link. the fact that Chelsea had to get rid of him, and the fact that we were kind of crying out for a wide forward that could fill multiple positions.
Yeah, I think it's a shrewd bit of business for all the reasons that you've just said. Basically, he's a quality player looking for a new home. Really, never really had a real home. I mean, he was at home at Liverpool. He was at home at Man City. Went to Chelsea, and it's not worked.
It's
And
not worked out.
now he is. He could be the difference, funnily enough, between last season you not winning the league and winning the league. Like, he actually could be that because he is a
Yeah.
goal scorer. He's a threat. He's fast. He's annoying. And he's, like you rightly said, he's played in teams where they've been all about physicality, high press, good football, winning stuff. I mean, and on a funny note, he'll be used to VAR decisions going against him because he was the one who scored the goal against Tottenham when the Champions League and we faced
He
them.
will, mate. He will.
So
He'd be used to coming to the Arsenal.
he's already pre-versed. He's sorted. He knows. He's like, oh, VAR, disallowed goal, sound, red card, we're getting sent off. Cool. All right.
Yeah, mate. But no, I think good business. Good business. No risk on our side. You know, if it doesn't work out, he can go back to Chelsea. He seems like a good lad. Like, Arteta got the best out of him, and Arteta has been quite good at getting the best out of former Chelsea players that have not really done it at Chelsea, like Havertz and Jorginho. Like, I think they've been shrewd signings, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah. Feeder club, isn't it, Chelsea?
They are our feeder club. We go and get them to pay ridiculous amount of money, and then we'll come in and buy them on the cheap.
And loan them and then buy them for real cheap.
Yeah.
So last thing is just to sort of round up, sort of, what do you rate your transfer window overall? What do you think about it? What do you think all your signings have been like top notch? Unhappy with some of the things you've done?
I thought we've replaced what we've got rid of. You know, we've had a lot of people leave, especially in that attacking part of the team. Smith Rowe, Eddie, Reese, which I'd just like to also just thank Marco for watching the pod and me asking him to get Reese, reunite Reese with the Arsenal old boys. So thank you very much, Marco, if you're watching this one as well. Cheers, buddy. And but yeah, I think we moved a lot of players on that clearly Arteta did not want or did not trust in the team, or weren't really hitting the mark for us. And we brought in some good players. We, obviously, Marino getting injured, first training session with us. What an absolute thing. Hopefully he's not our new Kim Kallstrom. But yeah, I think we did all right.
Yeah, I agree. What do you reckon out of 10 then?
7. I'd say a 7. I think if we had managed to, because early doors, remember, we were after Sesko. If we had got that sort of out and out number 9 that could play, like, that could battle Havertz for that starting position, I think it would have been a 9. But 7.5. I'd go 7.5. I'd rate our chance of winning.
That's fairly fair. I was going to say to you, I think it would be more like an 8. You got Calafiori, you got rid of Smith Rowe, even though you don't want to, for decent money. You bought in Sterling to cover. It's just if it was just those 3 things, that's like brilliant management of a team. You know, like not the reinvention, the rolling of players to make it. Arteta's doing some smart things, or Edu is doing some smart things, combined, to make you a bit stronger, or much stronger, I should say.
It was just getting another body in. I think we're slightly light on the bench, especially with Jesus being. You can't rely on Jesus. He's a great player. I really, really love him. It's a theme. I do love Arsenal players. I'll tell them I love them all the time. But I really love Jesus. But it's just he picks up too many injuries, and that's the kind of theme of it.
I think he'd be a player to tangent into that. I think he'd be a player that I would really appreciate and love if he played for Liverpool. But I don't like him like for other
Yeah,
clubs.
he's that sort of player, isn't he?
Yeah, which is good. That's what you want. I want all my players to be hated by everyone and loved by us. That's what I want. So I don't know. There's like good. There's been some good signings, some good movement. You got done over by a referee. Like it's not all doom and gloom though. We're looking like you're looking up at least from an
Yeah.
Arsenal perspective.
No, look, mate. It's been an okay start to the season. I thought we've been playing quite well. I thought Saliba and Gabriel kind of lost a bit of their sleepiness that I'd seen in the last couple of games, so that's always a good sign. It's just annoying. There's an international break. Really annoying. Like it'd be nice not to have one.
I'll tell you one thing before we exit and go. I'll tell you one thing that I heard that was quite funny, and I gasped when I heard this. But maybe as the Arsenal fan, you will tell me I was wrong. Somebody said, "I think when Saliba's career is over, he will be remembered as the greatest centre back that ever played for Arsenal."
No, but an amazing centre back.
Segan is obviously the best.
I was gonna go the cyborg Senderos.
Oh, Senderos not even played. I forgot about it. Igor
Senderos cyborg. Or Stefanos,
even
the Latvian giant,
who was rubbish. But
no. The reason I'd say no is purely because Tony Adams and Sol Campbell.
yeah, and also, so I don't mean to say this as a point of contention because you'll probably want to continue talking, but basically, most of his career is going to probably be played at Real Madrid.
I think probably just because it's the new way of he's a modern day footballer. I think he'll probably move on in 2 or 3 seasons. It depends. If we win the Champions League and the league a couple of times in that time, he'll stay for another 5 or 6 seasons. But yeah, he'll probably go.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's just annoying that it's just Real Madrid exist, really, isn't it? In that sense, like, and they haven't bought a centre back like that in ages. And that's why I think that they bought. I know they love buying their forwards and their midfielders and all this. Oh, look, we've got 100 midfielders, 100 forwards. We've got everyone, right? But they haven't bought a centre back in a while, and a big one. So what I'm saying is, not January, but maybe begin. I think next season, 150, 200 million's coming in for him, and I don't know what Arsenal will do with that. Just a lot.
Well, if you had a £150 million bid for Saliba, you depending on what he was pushing for, you'd probably accept. Like
shame, isn't it? But you'd have to because it's crazy money. That is crazy money. But that's what I think. I think he's worth that as well. I think he is worth that.
Oh yeah. Look, I think I'm not talking about prime Van Dijk, but I think Saliba is the best centre back in the league. Like Van Dijk, a couple of seasons ago, you had Van Dijk, he was untouchable, but Saliba, I think now has stepped up into that mantle as being the level people will compare their centre back to.
Yeah, I'd say it's really close between them, but you're probably right. I don't know, but what I can say for sure is Saliba is a young Van Dijk. Like he is literally that. Like everything he does, it's like he's watched Van Dijk, like he's his role model, and he's like, "That's who I want to play like," and he's just mastered it. Like, oh, I am that player. And bear in mind, he's younger. He's probably got, I don't know this for sure, he's probably got a bit more pace, or if not, maybe Virgil van Dijk just never runs and I don't ever get to see him actually, I don't know. But he is very good. Saliba is outstanding. Clearly the best centre-back in the Premier League last season. Clearly as well. Like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, I don't want to think about Saliba leaving. I mean, not in a week where I had to think about fucking dickhead Kavanagh. So let's not start that rumour.
On that bombshell, Jeremy Clarkson, just like that, we'll end it there then. So thank you everybody for listening to our psychotic rants about referees and our expert opinions on Arsenal Football Club from the man that is the boss. And please don't forget to like the video, subscribe. Please comment. call us all the names under the sun, agree with us, disagree with us. It's all a bit of fun. And I mean, I'd like to leave it on na 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 na. 10 hugs at the wheel, 10 hugs at the wheel. Da, 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 da. That's it, mate. So, thank you very much, everyone.
Amazing.
That is not going to die. That's a song. Thank you very much, and that's a see you later from me.
Yeah, and me, mate. See you later, everyone.
Bye.